Good morning and Happy New Year. Speaking of New Year, on January 1st, 2021, Daniel Luna enjoyed a few drinks to celebrate the New Year at a party near Avenal, California, which is about 80 miles southwest of Fresno. But instead of calling an Uber, a friend, or passing out on the couch with a half-microwave bowl of mashed potatoes like I did, he decided to get behind the wheel of his 2013 Dodge Journey. Around 8 p.m., while heading southbound on SR-33, his SUV swerved slightly onto the shoulder. But Luna overcorrected himself, causing him to veer into the northbound lane where he slammed head-on into a 2007 Ford F-150 pickup truck. That truck was carrying 8 people, mostly children, between 6 and 15 years old. Other drivers in the area stopped to help but said the fire was too intense to be able to extract anybody from the wreckage. There were 0 survivors. An autopsy confirmed that Luna's blood alcohol content was 0.21%, which is almost 3 times the legal limit of California's 0.08%, as it is in most states. Sadly, this story is not an edge case. In 2023, 12,429 people lost their lives to drunk driving. The 2024 and, of course, the 2025 stats aren't available yet. That comes out to about 34 a day, or 1 every 42 minutes. That means, statistically, every 48 hours, drunk driving claims more lives than the deadliest mass shooting in the US, but hey, that's a story for another day. The good news is, like CD players and catalytic converters, new technology may make impaired driving a thing of the past. But what's the catch? Thanks for stopping by NPC Overrider, where we challenge mainstream source code to develop independent thought, one user story at a time. Grab a Shirley Temple, and let's check out the latest programming. Like I said, there's countless DUI cases I could have cited there, but I chose this particular story because of the National Transportation Safety Board's recommendation following the crash to implement new devices in all new vehicles. They say, quote, "As a result of this investigation, we recommend that the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration, NHTSA or NHTSA, require that all new vehicles be equipped with passive vehicle integrated alcohol impairment detection systems, advanced driver monitoring systems, or a combination thereof. The system must be capable of preventing or limiting vehicle operation if impairment by alcohol is detected." End quote. If that's the case, your mother's days of sucking it up after 8 mimosas during Sunday brunch are numbered. Just like when you forget to put on your seatbelt or get too close to the garbage cans when backing into the garage, your car might know when you've had too many. Only in this case, instead of an annoying ding or beep, you could be stuck roadside for hours. But how? Back in 2008, the Automotive Coalition for Traffic Safety began collaborating with the U.S. Department of Transportation's National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. What are we, back in the military? This is about enough acronyms here. To develop anti-drunk driving technology. The technology, called the Driver Alcohol Detection System for Safety, or DADS, research program, focused on 2 passive methods for collecting and analyzing blood alcohol content. One is through breath collection and another is through a touch sensor. The former has been more successful in development and testing. But this isn't the same breathalyzer your Uncle Fred blows into to start his 2003 Honda Civic. This device is a low-profile intake vent integrated into the steering column, while the touch sensor can be built into ignition buttons or gear shifts. Both options use lasers to analyze the driver's ethanol to carbon dioxide makeup, which determines whether you are over the limit. If implemented like seatbelts and airbags, DADS developers expect to save 9,400 lives annually and billions of dollars, $194 billion to be exact, annually in costs incurred by first responders, legal teams, and families. Seems like a no-brainer, especially if you know somebody impacted by drunk driving. But it's 2026, and our ears perk up when we hear the government promise safety in exchange for new technology and control. What are the concerns? With tens of people dying a day from impaired driving, it seems we could use a bit of common sense alcohol control. But what about false positives? Diabetes can lead to ketoacidosis, a condition where the body produces ketones containing acetone, which DAD systems may flag as alcohol consumption. Even commuters hitting the road after mouthwashing their morning breath may find themselves late for work. Admittedly, these are edge cases, yes, but privacy is a bigger concern. Just like with smart utility meters, where's the data stored? Who has access? Insurers? Law enforcement? Hackers? DADS developers assure us that the tech is designed to be non-intrusive, with no storage unless an incident occurs, and claim to advocate for strong privacy regulations.
Right.
Still, future iterations of this technology may leave everyday Americans concerned about Big Brother in their dashboard. What's the slippery slope? Regarding that Avenal tragedy in the intro I mentioned, Luna was about 3 times the legal limit, but I didn't include all the details. For example, I didn't mention that Luna was driving between 88 and 98 miles per hour in a 55 mile an hour zone, according to the NTSB. According to the National Safety Council, in 2023, speeding was a factor in 29% of all traffic fatalities, killing 11,775 people. That's an average of over 32 people people daily. As for the F-150 full of kids, the report concluded that there were more people in the car than there were seatbelts. That model truck has 6 seatbelts when it was carrying 8 people. According to NHTSA, 10,484 passenger vehicle occupants killed in car accidents were not wearing seatbelts. Granted, the investigation determined the 8 people in the pickup truck would have likely died even if they were wearing seatbelts given the high speeds. But there would have been 2 more kids alive today if that driver had enforced seatbelt requirements. What am I getting at here? With so many speeding and seatbelt related fatalities, why aren't we talking about implementing speedometer and seatbelt governors? That sure would be a lot easier to develop than these passive BAC analysis devices they're looking at. Why is alcohol-related death the only tragedy that warrants a need for the government to decide who can and can't drive? What's next? Tackling distracted and fatigued driving? According to NHTSA again, distracted driving claimed about 3,275 lives in 2023. The National Sleep Foundation reported that 6,400 people die annually from driving while fatigued. But to determine distraction and fatigue, you'd need cameras for that to monitor facial expressions, head positions, and eye movements. Maybe full interior surveillance is the end goal. If you've made it this far, thanks for watching. If you like what I'm doing here, could you please do me a solid and leave me a like or maybe some feedback in the comment section? It really does help. Thank you. Alright, now for the final patch. So, can you expect to see one of these DAD systems in your new car anytime soon? Unlikely, unless you drive a fleet vehicle like a taxi cab or a semi-truck, or maybe work in municipal, county, or state services. As with seatbelts, airbags, and anti-lock brakes, even if required in all new vehicles, it's going to take years before they become available publicly, even if it's only an option. The technology is now available for commercial licensing, but the jury is out on requiring these devices for new builds. I tried contacting DADS and the Automotive Coalition for Traffic Safety, but my email was kicked back. They seem to have gone dark since the tech was moved out of the funding phase and into the commercial licensing phase. Grok says this sort of thing is normal. But after reading the NTSB report myself, there's even more to the story. Leading up to the crash, there were other factors not shared in the standard news articles. Now, none of this is to minimize the driver's impairment and poor decision making. He was 3 times over the legal limit, and that's a fact. But during the NTSB interview with Luna's wife, Romy Gutierrez, she stated that Daniel had difficulty seeing, especially at night, but refused to see an eye doctor. He didn't even have a driver's license, nor was he insured, yet he drove his wife's car anyway with some degree of regularity. Gutierrez also told investigators that her Dodge Journey's alignment was off and her husband had trouble sleeping at night, which she says was likely a result of him spending most of his life in prison, leaving him with few employment options as he worked 12-hour shifts harvesting pistachios. That's what she says. Not to mention, nobody at that New Year's Day party stopped him from driving. Again, it's safe to say that if Luna were sober, he and all those kids would be alive today, and Dad's devices would surely reduce DUI deaths overall if implemented in all new vehicles. But it seems drunk driving is just one factor in a culturally and morally bankrupt society. But what do you think? Are you okay with the government requiring DAD systems like seatbelts, airbags, and anti-lock brakes? Or is this just another stepping stone to total surveillance? Well, that's going to do it for this version of NPC Overrider. I'm your lead engineer, Greg. All references are available through the release notes. If you want to help save the NPCs, please set the like button to true and open up a ticket in the comments section if you have an idea for a future release. But for now, we're going to grab, maybe we'll just have a water. Have a good one.